I'm an idiot.
We know.
Here we go.
Is the time lapse running? Oh, were you talking? Oh, I fucked up.
It's not a time lapse, it's a full video. Welcome to the first YouTube video, Truck Company Radio. This guy over here. Sorry, I didn't clarify. That's my bad. We're going to start our show. You will not be able to hear the disclaimer because we can't figure out how to play it and not have it double record. So give us a quick second. We'll be back with you. All right, welcome back. Tales from the Tailboard podcast here at Truck Company Radio. Me and Chris in the studio with a YouTube video going, so make sure if you're listening to go check that out. It's just us sitting here talking. I don't know how interesting it'll be.
I don't know.
Maybe we'll do some finger guns at the camera or something. Who knows? We'll get crazy up in here. Episode 11, not including the bonus episode that we did last week of the YouTube video that was interesting. Today we're going to talk about, what are we talking about today, Chris? Perfect. We're going in blind, folks. Bear with us. I'm pretty sure.
Let me check the notes.
It's training on shift, like in-house training.
Training on the truck.
There we go. Training on the truck. All right, folks.
Life's hard these days.
It really is, man. I tell you, this COVID's got everyone all fucked up. So, Chris has got himself a Old Faithful Coors Light. I am still recovering from my adios motherfuckers and haven't really bridged back into the world of heavy drinking yet. So I'm having a coffee. It also keeps me available for the SWAT calls.
Yeah, your volunteer police work.
That's right. Volunteer cop here, folks.
For the record, we tried a recommendation and it went horribly awry. So next time.
Yeah, they recommended a bomb.
Yeah, rum, chata, limon, and Guinness.
I think we'll try it before we do it the first time.
Yeah. And we still need ingredients for other recommendations.
Yeah, some of those recommendations were bougie.
Yeah, no, we need to go.
I'm all for them.
Yeah, we need to go to a.
We just need to go
store.
shopping. So everyone takes the same classes. Well, okay, same like Fire 1, Fire 2, Hazmat, A&O. Everyone goes to training at some sort of academy. And most probationary firefighters, most departments, you have a task book. Mm-hmm. So what happens when all that is done?
Well, ideally, you would learn new things. Some people have a hard time with that.
Absolutely.
Actually, I want to start off hearts out to state police.
In New Mexico, yep. Hearts out to State Police in New Mexico. They lost an officer this afternoon. And some other officers were shot probably involving Las Cruces PD and Doñana County Sheriff's Department. So.
What kind of cocksucker do you got to be to jump out of a truck and just start blasting? Son of a bitch.
I'm going to be honest, that Charger that was right there was not State Police, so I'm assuming that...
That was a Camaro with Las Cruces.
So I'm assuming the State Police officer was hurt. Ended up wounded in a different involvement. I'm sure that wasn't the only.
Yeah, no, that wasn't the only one.
Yeah, it's pretty rough world out there. Makes me enjoy what I do on the volunteer cop side, and all the more that I'm there to help out my boys if they get themselves into that type of situation. I hope that they don't. But so Chris is 100% right, and I agree with him on that. I think that once you're done with your initial task book and your academy level training, the training never ends. To maintain, so on the investigator side, you have a CV or curriculum vitae, as it were. I may have pronounced that wrong. I'm not real keen on.
You probably did.
No, I'm not keen on my Latin. I need to brush up on it. But basically, it says it's not just the classes that you've taken, but how long ago you took it.
Yeah.
So if the last time that you looked at arc patterns was in your basic fire investigator class 10 to 12 years ago, can you really be considered an expert witness and offer testimony on that?
No.
Exactly. So you might fail what's called a Dauber challenge. And so that type of mentality applies to the rest of the fire service, where we need to be ever-changing and adapting to changes in the profession and the way that we fight fire, and you have to adapt to those changes. And the best way to do that is to always be training, always taking new classes. Don't just take classes at your local academy or the classes that your academy puts on. Look for other classes. There's a guy from Albuquerque Fire that he posts on his Instagram page that he took a advanced truck operations, I think it was, class, something along those lines, and he just posted about how great it was. And so those advanced level classes don't just do the basics over and over again, because then your mentality is that the training is redundant. It's no longer necessary. I've done the basics over and over again. That's great. We understand it. Don't forget your basics, but don't do those over and over again.
The basics are meant to be to build off of them.
Exactly. Take those to the advanced level. And I'm sure for our law enforcement brethren out there that are listening, the same thing applies. Don't just take your basic classes. Don't just do your annual qual. Shoot regularly, whatever it may be. So we really need to be doing training in-house on the truck, and that is inherently difficult. The sheer number of call volume and report writing and everything else that command staff may want you to do. The PR thing isn't really a thing, but right now, because of the COVIDs, all of them, not just 19, but 1 through...
COVID is everywhere.
Yeah, except after 10 o'clock in New Mexico. Just shut it down.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of different drills that you can do, and everyone thinks that... I think they think that the training has to be super, planned out and difficult.
No, not at all.
And I really, you can go to Home Depot or Lowe's or Ace or wherever you get your hardware stuff from, buy some locks and some chain, and just practice busting locks.
Yeah, B shifted that not too long ago.
Get an old door from wherever, or just some wood, and practice using the saw, practice breaking down the door. Just go around the station and look at different locks and handles and talk about how you would force that door. Not necessarily destroy your stations, but you can do some visuals and talk about that.
If you do a forcible entry on your station, we want pictures.
Yeah, definitely send us pictures of you destroying your firehouse.
Before, after, and we want a reaction of your boss.
So acquired buildings are always great, but that's not necessarily
that's hard.
It's hard to do depending on where you're at. And then it's usually a scheduled thing, and
controlled,
but
for the most part.
Something that you can do is, if there's an abandoned house, you can go to it and talk about the hazards, and you can ladder it all day long.
What me and my partner like to do, which it kind of probably frowned upon, whenever people are building new houses in our response area, throughout the different stages of them building the house, after hours, we'll go walk through and check it out.
100%. A lot of the new houses that they just built in our area, they were built to code from another state. And I don't remember if it was Oklahoma or Louisiana or something, but it had the center wall that was load bearing that went all the way to the roof, even in the 2 stories.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Instead of sheetrock, it was decked with OSB. It was built differently because it's like a hurricane wall or a tornado wall. So it's designed to give the building... I didn't know about the whole
building code, but...
Yeah.
But I have noticed that through a couple of houses.
That's a huge deal. Be aware of new construction. Tour it if you can. Go just drive around. How often... So when I was still a lieutenant, for whatever reason, they think that because we're the fire department that we should be checking fire extinguishers. I think it's bullshit. I think that there should be... So in the Air Force, we have a facility manager, and that's the facility manager's job, is to walk around the building and inspect. They also tell us that if we're building spring code that we don't need fire extinguishers. But anyway, so when we would walk around, one of the buildings was a courthouse. It's a commercial building, 3 stories. The technically 4 stories. The 4th story is like the penthouse level, but it's all HVAC and mechanical. And doesn't have easy access. But we would tour the building, and when we had new guys, I would make sure that we would go over there and we'd talk about how to get in.
Yeah.
The fact that our Knox box is in the worst possible place ever.
Terrible.
And
not to mention all the spiders
where the alarm room is, where the annunciator panel is, the riser room, all that stuff. And that is simple company level training that you can do quick on the truck, just drive by, take a walk through. We have a unique circumstance where we cover a lot of area. And so we have a lot of different types of occupancies in those jurisdictions. We have a lot of people that run businesses out of their homes. So we try to take a look at the area where the public will be at. But we don't always get the opportunity, but we're still aware of them. Flow water. We work in a heavily tanker area. We run mostly drop tanks.
Solid 60%.
So I think that drop tanks, just because of the fact that that's what we use the most, I think that hydrant operations is something that should be trained on more.
Yeah. For example, we've had structure fires that we're just so stuck on drop tanks, we put the drop tank next to a hydrant.
100%. So that's what we do. That's a call that we run all the time.
Yeah.
We get a good number of structure fires, and we run them drop tank.
Yep.
So the company level, so that should be considered a basic because of the quality, the frequency in which we perform that task is more. So we should focus on training hydrant operations because that's something that we don't do.
Yeah.
We also use tons of 1 3/4 hand lines off of crosslays. So we should be training on blitz line and
high-rise packs
and LDH operations, pumping a lot of water because it's something that we don't do.
No.
And so here's where this comes into play. When all you do is train with 1 3/4 crosslays and drop tanks, then every time you go to a fire, no matter what the fire looks like,
you're going to pull 1 3/4.
You're going to pull 1 3/4 because that's what we always do. And that is the worst phrase in the fire service. And but it's 100% based off of how we train. If we only ever train on the basics is all we're ever going to do.
Yeah.
And it's specifically in like the volunteer or the hybrid departments where you have these new members and all your hose evolutions, all your training is based around pulling 2 crosslays and running off a drop tank. So when they get to the scene by themselves or they have somebody else with them, that's all those 2 people know. Even if Fire 1 has taught them the other stuff, and Fire 1 really teaches them the basics too. And even Fire 2 doesn't necessarily go into too much like advanced tactics. It's more just the basics of other types of fires.
Yep.
Flam liquids, LPG, all that stuff. So that's really all they know. Like they know that the 2.5 inch exists. They know that the monitor exists. They are required to know how to set it up and use it occasionally, but they don't train on it enough to be like, oh my God.
To be truly proficient with it.
This house is fully engulfed and I can feel the heat from down the street. There's 100% no reason why I should be using 1 3/4. You cannot flow enough water to put that fire out.
No.
You look at these.
Eventually, it'll burn out faster than you'll put it out.
You look at these pictures and videos of these big departments, and they have these roaring house fires, and they have 2 or 3 elevated master streams on them, and you think that you're going to do anything with your 1 3/4. If anything, you could do exposure protection.
Yeah.
Maybe, or you can drop the deck gun on it, knock it down, cool it down, and then it's more manageable when more people show up and you can get it down.
Yeah.
It's all about water. And so that's why the basics are going to get you guys in trouble.
I agree.
You cannot train on the basics all the time. You got to take it up a notch. And your company training should reflect that. Your company training should be based off of the types of calls that you run and some of the buildings that are in your area. We don't run a lot of high-rise fires, but we also don't do a lot of high-rise training.
No.
If we had a high-rise, we'd probably fuck it up.
Oh, if there was a high-rise on fire right now, it would be.
But I'm going to be honest, I don't really want to fight a high-rise fire. I don't know that we really have anything that's like per se high-rise. It's really anything above, I think, 3 stories. We don't have anything that really counts.
Neighbors down south, got the bank.
Yeah, the bank building and the courthouse are really the only ones that I would consider. And the courthouse doesn't even have standpipes. It's the whole thing sprinkled, but there's no standpipes.
It's sprinkled. Fuck it. It'll be fine.
The Devon Energy Tower in Oklahoma has 2 different fire department connections. It's split in half. So I don't know how many floors it is, but the lower floors are zone 1 and the upper floors are zone 2 because of the pressure difference required to flow the sprinklers at the higher stories.
That makes sense.
And all their FDCs are marked with horn strobes.
Horn strobes?
Like the fire alarm. So when
Yeah.
the fire alarm activates, the strobe flashes on the FDC.
Huh.
They also have Knox-locked stork connections on all their FDCs. So no one can put shit down in there
Yeah.
and fuck with it.
Yeah, in high school. High schools, colleges. I don't know what it is with fucking people ramming trash into FDCs.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Students, teenagers.
And hydrants by parks. They take the caps off and ram shit in there.
Probably use them for drug deals.
Yeah, it would be a good stash spot until it's not.
That's another good training, especially for like rural departments that don't do a lot of hydrant stuff. Go open your hydrant.
Yeah.
Go review hydrant ops. You don't even got to hook up a truck to it.
You've ever opened a hydrant before?
I've never seen a hydrant before. And just go over how to inspect, service,
Yeah.
run a hydrant. You can do it in 10 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe less.
Well, if you even have them.
And if they're all serviceable.
Yeah, that is.
That's a quick training. The point is that it has to be consistent and it needs to be done. You can't ever stop learning. Take those advanced classes. You know what?
There's a quote.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
You're not recording? You motherfucker.
It's all right there. It's all right there.
Can we put that onto there?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can. I just gotta plug it in. It'll be like playing the this through it.
Playing the what?
Oh, when we start off with our dispatch or whatever. It's the same thing. This is all pretty standard. We'll just keep going and then I'll record it off the tablet later. It'll be alright.
Is it gonna sound alright?
Yeah, it'll sound fine.
There's some technical difficulties, but he fucked it up. Sorry.
What?
What?
Apparently this isn't a team effort anymore.
You're in charge of the smart end of this
I'll
table.
just go fuck myself.
First door on the left.
Yep, I'm familiar.
I'll open it for you.
Damn it. I don't even know how long we've been going.
I have no idea either.
I could get up and look, but I don't want to be like, oh, God, I look like a jackass. I already look like a jackass.
But you're our jackass. What's the verdict here?
18 minutes.
Amateur hour at the Apollo.
All right, so now we're going to talk about, let's talk about that video where that dude takes the air conditioner to the head.
Oh, no, hold on. Speaking of, what's the last line you just said?
The dude that took the air conditioner
No, not before that.
I look like a jackass?
No, before you realized you fucked up.
I got nothing.
There's a quote. You can never, I don't remember who quoted it, you can never learn enough about a job that can kill you. It's a quote.
Nope, I got nothing.
But anyway, it's a good quote.
It is a good quote and applicable to the video. What department was that?
What? The one that took the
air conditioner, yep.
FDNY, I believe.
Sure.
I'm pretty sure.
Look it up.
I'll find it.
So this is what happened. So firefighters had finished their secondary search, and there's a couple guys walking back to the truck. Well, up on the second story, one of their compadres, their comrades, if you will, was doing some overhaul, and they bumped in a window unit, and it fell onto the guy's head as he was walking down below. So roughly about 2.5 stories, because it was like a townhouse or a brownstone kind of home, so elevated platform, probably a basement, and it came from the second story. Ended up with some pretty significant injuries. Did you find it yet?
I'm Googling.
Oh my God. This is why I run the smart stuff.
Yeah. And look where that got us.
Yeah. I'm trying to look at time here and I'm just seeing zeros. So we talk about situational awareness and the need for training, and well, I'm not gonna say that anyone's at fault, because I don't think that anyone is. Sometimes these freak accidents occur.
FDNY in the Bronx.
Oh, okay. So prayers to the family of that guy and all of FDNY. Nobody wants to get hurt in the line of duty. Nobody wants to have a brother or sister hurt in the line of duty. So we really need to watch out for each other. And again, no one I don't think is at fault for that one. Sometimes these freak accidents happen.
That was like the wrong place, wrong time.
Just don't get complacent and don't get your guard down. Some accidents are preventable. And training will help us prevent some of that, especially the lack of complacency.
Yeah.
But some things are that is one of the things that's truly, truly unpreventable in the fire service. I think that there are some injuries that we can do, or that we can prevent. Injuries, deaths 100%. That we can prevent.
And I'm not the biggest, the PPE snob, put your gloves on. Make sure your helmet's on, your face shield, all that. That helmet 100% saved his life.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Absolutely.
And that's coming from me. Half the time I don't have my gloves on.
There are people out there that will try and convince you that the deaths amongst firefighters is high. And I'm not going to say that it's not. And I'm not going to say that. I mean, obviously we can't, there's some things that we can control. Heart attack, we can be healthier. We're not, but we can be. We can work out and take steps to mitigate heart disease.
Hey, I work out.
We can take certain steps to attempt to mitigate cancer. I think that it's just one of those things that in some cases is also unavoidable. But I don't think that the number of firefighter deaths is unusually high. I understand that no death is acceptable and we should aim for that. But I also don't want people to think that because the number's not zero, that we as a service are somehow failing.
Or doing something wrong.
We can always do better and we can always make the job safer. But there's still freak accidents, and I don't think that we're ever going to be able to reach zero. I think that it's just not possible, and I don't think that any instructors or people, leaders or influencers in the fire service should say that the deaths are too high because they're at 35 or whatever. Yeah, I get it. There's now 35 people that don't get to go home to their families.
Yeah.
And I'm not happy about that, and I'm not condoning that. But it's also not something to be afraid of. That is way less than 1%. And that's how I got the Styx.
Styx.
Short for my statistics. But it all comes down to training, guys, and no matter what we do, it's just like the guy, and I'm pretty sure it was in New York also, where the guy set the house. I'm sure it's happened in other places, but he set the house fire and then ambushed firefighters when they got there.
Yeah.
There's a whole episode of SWAT on CBS about it the other day. Terrible show, by the way. Don't watch it. It's good. I mean, I guess it's just overacted, and some of the stuff is just...
It is a drama.
Yeah, but it's overdone.
I can't get into the Chicago fire, that type of show. I can't do it.
I was all about Chicago fire until they shoved the needle through the bottom of the jaw, and that was episode 3 of the first season.
And
it
lost you right there.
That was it. I was like, nope, and the masks that they have, where you make sure you can see their face.
Their entire face. Yeah.
Stupid.
It's way too overdone for my liking. I'll watch firefighter movies, except Rescue Me. I can watch Rescue Me all day.
None of it's as bad as Trauma was.
I never seen it. What about old school ER? Did you watch old school ER?
ER wasn't bad.
I could get down on that one too.
Yeah, I'm not gay, but George Clooney. Young George Clooney from ER?
Yeah,
oh, yeah.
I mean, $20 is $20.
I was watching Emergency today, actually. Old Johnny and Roy.
Yeah.
Tearing it up. I'm going to be honest. Some of that still applies today, and some of it doesn't. But back in its time, it was remarkably accurate.
Yeah. Yeah.
Remarkably accurate.
Is that Early 80s?
72, I think.
Okay.
I think I looked it up today. I think so, 72 or 78, something like that.
Okay. So close enough.
Yeah. Yeah, good show.
You threw me off the groove, man.
What?
With the whole...
Oh, yeah, we were definitely in the groove.
Yeah.
We're just fucking winging it now. There's nothing wrong with that. That's what we do on the show.
Yeah, no, if you don't like it, don't listen to it.
So what do you think about... So I'm not going to try and like lean this one way or the other. The IAFF and a lot of locals, San Francisco, I'm pretty sure was one of them, backed Joe Biden for president.
I think it comes down to a money thing.
So I think that...
It's all money.
No, 100% I agree. I think that, yes, Democrats historically have been more pro-union presidents.
Yeah.
And I think that Joe Biden probably talked more about the union jobs. However, I think that Donald Trump was more of a bigger supporter of the public service. Mm-hmm. And I also think that he was about the union and trade jobs. My concern is that on day one, Biden signed executive orders that stand to cause a lot of damage to union jobs on day one.
Yeah.
And I've seen speculated fallout, a bunch of different numbers, all of them pretty high. But so you think about like pipeline workers and the guys building the wall, some horizontal construction specialists, and
natural gas and oil.
Yeah, and so it's hard for me, my personal issues with Joe Biden aside, it concerns me what's going to happen to the fire service. The other big thing is they want to raise the federal minimum wage to $15 an hour.
Yep.
I am a certified firefighter, a certified emergency medical technician, and I have an associate's in my field. And I make $15 an hour.
Yep. And I'm not far ahead of you, buddy.
And so you're now saying that my job and the work that I do and the education that I've earned is the same. The monetary value of that is the same as
someone dropping fries at McDonald's.
The guy dropping fries and washing burgers or washing floors.
Washing burgers
at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And that's hard for me.
It pisses me off.
It's
honestly.
a kick in the dick.
Yeah. Yep, and not to mention what happens whenever you raise the minimum wage. The price of everything goes up. We're gonna have $4 gallons of milk here soon.
That is a kick in the dick.
Yeah. Good thing you went and got you a desk to ride.
People are gonna lose their jobs.
Yeah. Mom and pop that have 3 employees aren't gonna have.
I could make more
anymore.
right now as an uncertified sheriff's deputy than I do as a certified firefighter and EMT.
Yeah.
I would make more as an uncertified deputy than I did as a lieutenant in the fire department.
If you could pass the psych eval.
You motherfucker. I should have seen that coming.
I even stood up in the chair for it.
Yes. I'm mentally unfit to be a police officer.
You were then. You'd probably be all right now.
I like to think so. I can't leave my desk job for 17 years. So.
Speaking of jobs, if there's anybody out there that teaches EMS courses and would like to tell us how you feel about it, tell us how you feel about it.
I am considering taking an EMS instruction position. It's like a temp part-time job. I enjoy teaching. Some people have said that I'm good at it.
I think you're pretty good at it.
Some people have said I'm the best at EMS, so I don't know.
I don't know if I'd go that far with it. Saying you're the best, it means there's no room for improvement.
Oh, there's always room for improvement. I don't think I'm the best. I think I'm fair at best. But I'm considering it, and I would enjoy some feedback from those of you that currently teach EMS courses or that are like full-time, all-the-time instructors in the fire service. I've done that too.
Yeah.
I've partaken in both. But I've never done like one whole semester of regular teaching with like the grading and the administering of tests and signing my name saying that this person's capable of providing emergency medical care. So there's a lot of stressors. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah. Which I think you have we talked about this earlier, but I think you have the support structure. Plenty of knowledgeable, no, I'm not going to say plenty. There's a few knowledgeable, good providers that you can
tap in if I need them.
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I think that students benefit from different instructors.
Oh, yeah.
Especially, you can't have one instructor that's well-versed in everything. Like, I kill sepsis. I blow that shit out of the park. But that's something I enjoy.
Yeah.
I'm not good at cardiology. But the levels of classes that I'm teaching, there isn't necessarily a lot of cardiology involved.
No, and this would be on the first responder basic level, correct?
Yeah. So I don't know. But if you guys have feedback, I definitely appreciate it.
When did that job post?
Oh, last year sometime. I don't even know if it's still. I gotta talk to the lady tomorrow and see if they're still looking. Their courses for this semester were canceled. I don't know if that was because of a restriction on in-person learning and you can't really do lab work virtually, or if they just didn't have an instructor. If nobody wanted to do it.
Speaking of that, the students I've been getting in, not that they're bad students, but the whole online. If any of you people that thought this was a good idea to have EMS courses virtually, a few of the students I've gotten, they get like an hour of IV time.
Yeah, that's pretty rough.
It's a sumbitch.
To take a job at a hospital, you get 12 hours every shift of IV time.
Yeah. But you gotta. I'm not saying that they're bad students or anything, but their IV skills are pretty horrid.
I was at one of my clinical shifts I started 13 IVs.
Oh, yeah.
And I didn't get any. I got my ass handed to me because I didn't do anything else. Just IVs and med pushes. I was like, well, I didn't need any more assessments. Like, you should have done it.
Yeah.
Okay.
My one of my last shifts at the hospital for my clinicals, I hid. I needed 3 assessments on my last. I got those 3 assessments, and I would pop in and out, and they would still yell down the hallway, "Student, IV in 14." Fuck. I would pop in and out just so they didn't think I left.
The hardest students for me to proctor, I hated proctoring students in the hospital. I don't think that. So when I wasn't in triage, like when I was in the back, it was hard. If I was in triage, I didn't mind it because they could do the IV and the blood work and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And it was pretty simple. But like in the back, the pace is just different.